trust me, baby. I'm gonna show you what I do. I don't know no other way.
Thank you again for joining Conversations with Kelli, Woman on a Hustle. You know, I know you guys wondering why I'm a woman on a hustle. Because when you have been a single parent, you have to do a whole bunch of different things. You know, you gotta fit in where you can get in. You gotta put them pieces together. And sometimes not even when you a single parent. Sometimes when you married and two incomes just aren't enough. You just gotta kind of just hustle up on some money or hustle up on a dream. And that's what I've had to do. I've had to be a chameleon. And so I have become a woman on a hustle. I do a lot of different things. You know, there have been times where you might see me on television one day and think, oh gosh, she's got it going on. And I might be the one serving you fries next day through the drive-thru. You never know. You can be talented and not be able to pay the rent on time. You know, not be able to satisfy Georgia Power. But you still want to do what you do. So I have had the privilege and the pleasures of interviewing three very, very different and talented individuals in this next segment. My first guest is the talented, so talented DARCY Harris of the VIP Room. I am interviewing Miss DARCY Harris. Miss Harris is owner of the VIP Room Design Studio. She is the ultimate interior designer here in Atlanta. Hi, DARCY. How are you?
Kelli, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for finally taking some time out for me. I appreciate it. You know, I know I'm not Tyra Banks or Oprah, none of them folks, but thank you for fitting me in.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
So tell me, DARCY, how did a little Southern girl from Florida and Georgia decide to become a designer?
Well, I started in my bedroom. I started playing with ripping out magazines with design, ripping out furniture designs, and just rearranging my room around. And I was like, I like this. I really like this.
So since you were a child, this was your passion and you knew it?
I knew it. It's something I always wanted to do. Just by nature, I did it.
So how does it feel living your dreams?
It's wonderful. It's what I've always wanted to do. My families are entrepreneurs. I came from a father that was his own businessman. My mom was her own businesswoman, and it was just inbred in me. So.
Okay. So you get up every morning loving your boss. So that's a good thing. What does one do when one decides they want someone else to create their space?
Well, I think the first thing you should do is you should Google interior designers. If you cannot locate me, you can either have someone refer me, or, you know, most of my referrals have been by people that I've done other condos with, or, you know, right now it's just strictly referrals, because it's right now I'm very private, and I guess that's where the VIP room comes from. But, you know, right now that's how you.
So not just anybody.
Not just
with a buck or two can get Miss DARCY.
No.
Okay. Work with someone like me that likes stuff, but I want to be contemporary too. And I don't necessarily want to just be cluttery, but I don't want to give up my stuff. You know,
okay.
I'm not trying to be Niecy Nash.
Okay, someone like Kelli, I would first find out what your budget is, because you have to have a budget.
$2, no.
You can't go very far with $2, but what you need is a budget. You need a budget, because I need to know what I'm working with. I need to know what your needs are, and your needs are you telling me on a questionnaire as to what is your style. If you already have gotten information about me, you know my style is very contemporary, very modern. But if you like a lot of things like you do, Kelli, I could have those things and design a space where you can organize things where they're handy as opposed to just sitting everywhere. You can bring your minimalist and your stuff that you love. You can still have a nice, clean look to it.
Yeah, because I like baggage.
Yeah.
Tell me, Darcy. Okay, and would you turn a client away? Do you study your client and figure out what would do, what would work for the client?
I do. What I do is I talk with the person. I meet them at their space, whether it's business or residence. I find out what their needs are. If it's something that they want to keep, I'll work with what you have. If you want to keep that couch that's an antique from your grandmother, I'll keep that couch, but I'll just work everything around it and just bring it all together so it can cohesively run together and run smoothly,
Okay. Now, primarily, your clients, are they men, women, or you have a little mixture of both?
Predominantly, my clients are men, single men that like very hip, chic spots where they can bring their young lady over and feel like they're the king of their castle. And what I do also do with my clients is I feel them out because they know what they like. They just don't know how to bring it together.
Women are going to hate me for saying this, but I can imagine that it's easier dealing with primarily men in this particular field because they don't want to do the painting. Mm-hmm. They don't want to do anything. They just want to come home and they want it nice. So you are taking care of that for them. You're providing them with a quality space that's their own. Mm-hmm. Tell me about a difficult customer.
Difficult customer.
Client.
Yes, client.
Or have there been any?
There has been some. I mean, there's some clients. Actually, there is a client that I even walked away from because once I do a consultation, it has to be the right chemistry for me to understand them and them to understand where I'm coming from. If there's no chemistry, then I tend to just say, maybe you need to research another designer.
So all money ain't good money, is it?
That's right.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you say,
sometimes you have to walk away from it. But.
I've had people in my own business that have volunteered, and I have wished that I was paying them so I could fire their asses. Yeah. Like if I was paying you, you'd be gone. Yeah. But
because it's like that. I mean, you have to have the right chemistry with people when you're dealing with customer service, and I do offer a customer service because they have to be serviced, and I have to make sure that they're happy with what I do. So yes, I have turned clients away, but maybe one or two in the history of me working in interior design.
Okay. What would you suggest to someone that's at a crossroads? They don't know what they're going to do. What would be the steps?
I would say do what makes you happy. Whatever passion that makes you happy, even if you work at McDonald's and you like greeting people and taking an order, that can lead to so many bigger things as a customer service industry. If you like on your spare time just sewing, I mean, do what you love. Your passion is what you do because you'll do it so much better than just seeing it as a job.
Yeah, someone told me once, choose the career that you would do for free.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then you know that you got something. If you would say, it's my pleasure. If it's absolutely your pleasure, then that's what you should do. Well, Miss Harris.
Yes.
I love this space. We are at Centennial Park.
Centennial 12 Park Condominiums. Down in Midtown.
And this place was just built, so you came in when this is the first owner, right? For
yes,
this particular.
This is first owner, a young man in school, but he wanted to have a nice, sleek, little modern spot that he can call home, away from home. So this is his space and bachelor pad and he loves it. So he did a lot of sleek stuff for him, and you'll see.
You know, they didn't make bachelors like this back in my day.
It's the younger generation.
Yeah, I'm not mad at them. Okay, so tell us, what was in this spot when did you choose the cabinets? Did you choose everything in here?
Well,
the colors?
This particular unit comes with the granite tops. It comes with the refrigerator. Everything in here is here. What I do is I come in. This gentleman actually had the sofas, and I enhanced what he had with the colors, with the accessories. And sometimes that's only what people want. They just want you to bring together what they have and make it look cohesive. So,
well, you did your thing.
Yeah, he loves the colors, and
it's very masculine and it's clean. But a female would be comfortable here too. A little touches. You could put a little bit more color, and boom, it would be,
Yeah, his girlfriend loves it. She loves it. And I bought the flowers to add a little touch, and I gave him the vase when I did it. But it's masculine, but it's feminine also, because it has certain colors that a woman, would come in and feel like she's at home.
Yeah, but he don't want to be too happy to be here. She got to get up and go.
She's got to. But I will tell you, every space that I do it to the client's specifications, what their lifestyle is. This gentleman's on the go, so he wants something that's nice and young and fresh. But it just represents the client. Whatever I do represents the client, their lifestyle. The website is thevipRoomATL.com. The THEVIPROOMATL.com.
My next guest is the lovely, talented NICOLE Pritchard. Miss Pritchard is an artist. And when I tell you NICOLE Pritchard, I wish she didn't have a mama. Because I really, truly want her to be my child. Now, I got a child now. I got a child, and he's talented and beautiful. But I wouldn't mind having Miss NICOLE Pritchard to be my child, because she is so talented and so beautiful. The talented NICOLE Pritchard. Today, we are taping live at U-Space Gallery, one of my favorite galleries in Atlanta. And I am interviewing the lovely, talented NICOLE Pritchard. Hello, NICOLE. How are you?
Great.
So tell me, NICOLE, what makes you so talented?
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. I guess it's just the love of creating. I've always doodled and sketched, and it's just a part of me, like a natural part of me to want to create. So
when did you decide that you were this was what your life work, that this is what you were gonna do?
I didn't. It just kind of happened organically. I've always, to keep myself quiet or keep myself busy, I've always had to move my hands. So I guess that's basically it.
That's just basically it. Well, there's nothing basic about your work. Who inspires you?
Well, there are a wide variety of artists who inspire me. There are artists that I've met who inspire me. A lot of artists from my childhood that my mother had books like M.C. Escher or Gustav Klimt, or a lot of Black American artists. I had books. My mother always had books around me. Botanicals, and I'm always women. Large focus in my work as well.
So which medium do you like the most?
The medium that I like the most,
that you're most comfortable in?
The medium that I'm most comfortable in is pen and ink on paper. I really love that medium because it's very controlled. My drawing is very tight. And you can get really fine details. I don't do very much pen and ink. But when I do, I try to use the space, like fill the space up with images. My work is slowly changing. I'm using new medium, and a lot of medium that most people see is batik. That's wax resist on cloth.
This is a Nicole Pritchard
Yes.
right here.
Yes.
And that's batik?
Batik.
Batik.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So tell me, what's the process? Because I see faces. That's incredible. What's the
Thank you.
process?
Well, it's I'm really better at showing than explaining, but I'll try. Batik is a method of using wax as a resist and dye to color in images. Mostly batik is used on natural fibers, cotton, linen, silk, wool. You take melted wax, you apply it to fabric, and then you dye the fabric. You let it air dry and you do the process again. It's almost a way of thinking backwards. You have to think of your images first. You have to think of your colors, because dyes, like color, they counteract each other. Red and yellow make orange. So if something is dyed orange, you have to think, if I want the fabric to be brown, what dye color will I need to dye it to make that brown? So it's just a process of thinking it through before you do it, and it's also organic. Also, as I'm working, I just decide what images I want, and they just happen. It's kind of like magic. Doing batik is magic to me.
Okay, so you have this large workspace where you do this at home. You do it out of your home, right?
Yes. For the longest time, I used to work out of my apartment,
Okay.
which it's just me. So using my living room as my studio space was no problem for me. Now I have a home, and I have a room that I use as my studio / guest bedroom. And it's working great. I have a screen porch that I can use to spread out and work outside. So it's just great.
What brought you to that?
When I was in college,
What school?
University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
I wanted to go to a fashion college, art institute, but I couldn't afford it. So University of Alabama had a program, clothing and textiles, which I graduated in. I had this class, and it was textile dyeing.
Oh, okay.
I found out about batik. Batik is centuries old. And I figured I could create images on fabric like a drawing on paper. And once I figured that out and I learned that method, I continued to do it on my own.
I was at the opening of this show, and the reaction from the crowd. You know, I've loved you forever.
Thank you.
You know, I actually have a small Nicole Pritchard in my bedroom, and I have admired your work and admired your persona, just the person that you are. You're so sweet.
Thank you.
You know, you're so humble and modest. And what I noticed at the opening, other artists, you have a lot of friends that are artists as well, and you guys are so supportive of each other.
You have to be.
You know, and that was, I was like, these women are artists in their own right, very wonderful artists in their own right, but it's a sisterhood with y'all. It's not worried about, oh, she's better, or, and it was your night, and they let it be your night.
Yes, I have a great support group, you know, from you, from the gallery, from Terrence, just letting me be me, you know, however quirky way, loud, quiet, however, you know, I come across. But I have great friends, great people who support me, and the people who come in this gallery appreciate a variety of things. I had this hang up about my art because I don't paint, you know, but I do other things which to some may be considered crafts, which is not a bad thing either.
Because it's kind of like folk art.
Right.
You know, and I'm a great fan of folk art. You know, and I'm
Me
a
too.
fan of yours.
Thank you.
know. I told you your mama stole you from me.
Yes,
One day my child was missing, and then I found her 25 years later. Okay. We're still with Nicole Pritchard. This scarf that I have casually draped across my shoulder is a Nicole Pritchard. Isn't it beautiful? 100% silk. In the same method, the Batiste method. She is so incredibly talented.
Thank
Look
you.
at this. Just lovely. Makes wonderful gifts. We're gonna, yeah. I mean, it would make a wonderful gift. Any of her work would make an absolute wonderful gift. But you know, if you're like me, you probably wouldn't want to give it away. Last but absolutely not least is Mr. Keith Hill. He is the founder of KeithKnows.com. Let me tell you something. He's a critic, and I know it all. If Keith Knows don't know where you gonna be at, then you ain't gonna be nowhere. And that's the bottom line. There's been times that I've gone on Keith Knows' website and found out that I was supposed to be somewhere that I didn't even know I was supposed to be there. And I was so grateful. Not just because it was like a reminder. Grateful that I was important enough to be listed. Hello, Mr. Knows. How are you?
I am glad to be here. I'm so glad you're having me.
Well,
I was looking forward to this moment, and it finally happened.
I know. After all the delays and everything, you're such a busy man. So, Mr.
Never too
Knows.
busy for you.
Thank you. So tell me, how did you become Mr. Know-It-All? That's what you are. You know everything. You go everywhere. And people, let me tell you something. You are nobody until you have been reviewed by Keith Knows. Trust me on that, because I didn't know I was somebody until I looked on the website and saw me. And I was like, oh, what is this? You know, and I knew then that I was like almost there, because Mr. Knows recognized who I was. So, Mr. Knows, tell me, how did you get into this? Have you always just been naturally nosy?
I've been naturally nosy. Naturally nosy. Thank you so much for that compliment. I really appreciate that. Keith Knows actually started from the National Black Arts Festival. I coordinate the volunteers for the festival, and people are new in the city. They don't like going to restaurants by themselves, and so they would always say, you know, I'm new to the city. Can you recommend a place for me? And I thought, I think I got something here. And so they would always say, ask Keith. Keith knows. And then I would start sending emails to people about different events and different activities and stuff. And the email got out of control. So then I decided that I have to figure out a way to consolidate everything and have it available for easy access on the website.
Okay.
And the rest is history.
I think you probably work on that principle. If you don't have anything good to say about him, you just won't say it.
Exactly.
And that's a wonderful way, because when you reach Keith Knows' website, you know it's going to be a good thing. You know, he doesn't say anything negative about anyone. So the folks that he's been to your place and you're not mentioned, you weren't good. That's how you know that you weren't good.
You got that concept. Yeah, that's exactly.
Because Keith is not going to say you're not good. He's just not going to say anything.
You got it.
So tell us, where are you from?
I'm originally from Virginia.
Okay.
Moved to Minneapolis and lived there most of my life. Lived in different cities though, pretty much. But Minneapolis is kind of like I call it my home, even though I was born in Virginia.
Okay.
So now I'm in Atlanta, 14 years. So this is my home again.
Okay.
And everywhere I've lived, I've celebrated, loved it, and don't have any regrets.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's your aspirations?
Well, funny you mentioned that. This is the 5th year of Keith Knows. And so there are a lot of fun things we're being planned, a lot of surprises. We're hoping to have events throughout the city and to support some of the venues that support me. So we're going to do it in April.
Okay.
And so stay tuned for more details. I like to have what you have on your website. I'm going to redo the website. I want to have, I think it's called Site Pal,
Yes.
where I actually talk to people
Yes.
on the site.
Yes.
Going to do that. Still doing more reviews, for Yelp and citysearch.com. Still going to be in the literary magazine Booking Matters. That's 5 years with them too.
Okay.
So very excited about a lot of different things. So, and also in April, we'll probably start doing sponsorships, a little more sponsorships, a little more commerce.
Okay.
So a lot of new exciting things for Keith Knows. So stay tuned.
Tell us about the National Black Arts Festival, because you said you got your start there. And some of our viewers may just not be aware of the ins and outs of the festival.
Okay.
So tell us about that.
Well, the National Black Arts Festival is an institute that's been around for, in fact, this is their 20th year.
Okay.
So it celebrates arts, culture, be connected, be inspired, be transformed. It sort of educates people about the African diaspora. And it used to be every 2 years, and now it's every year. It's always in July. It's always the third week in July. This year, we're going to celebrate the civil rights movement. So we're going to have.
Years in that King's Step.
It sure is. So we're going to do all that stuff. And so far, I know a little bit about it. I can tease you a little bit. This year, we're going to be in Centennial Park.
Wonderful.
And we're going to have, I think Alice Walker's coming, Cornel West, Winston Marsalis. So a lot of exciting things. So stay tuned. Go to KeithKnows.net. Get all the details.
I know. If nobody else knows, Keith knows. And that's the truth. What advice do you give them? How would you encourage a young person to do their thing, to step out on faith and just do their thing? So tell us that. Tell me that.
Okay.
Teach me, Keith knows. Kelly want to know.
I have a famous African proverb.
Okay.
If you yearn to see a rainbow, don't be afraid to stand in the rain. And it basically means follow your dreams. There are going to be roadblocks, detours, and challenges. Just hold your head up and keep on moving. Because that's all part of the learning process.
Now, if you know somebody that is just an ordinary person doing extraordinary things that you think deserves to be recognized, give us a call. If you think the world needs to know about them, well, you know what, or just Atlanta, or the world, because we international now. If the world needs to know about them, give us a call, 678-520-4008, because we're all about showcasing the best of all of us. Thank you. Have a good night or day or whatever.